Can somebody check LinkedIn to be sure we are live? Hi guys, if you can hear us, just drop it in the comments and let's know that you can hear everything we're saying and you can see us clearly. Are we live now? Awesome. Hello people. Please drop your comments. Let's know where you're joining us from. It's good to see you again and I'm super excited for today's session. Let's know where you're joining us from, please. Just drop it in the comments. You can just say, hey, my name is Grace and I'm joining from Nigeria, or my name is Susan, I'm joining from United Kingdom, thereabouts. So just drop it in the comments. Let's know where you're joining us from. I can't see any comment yet, so I'm guessing that people are still joining. So we still have like 2 minutes though. So let's give it time. For people to join us. And yeah, just to mention, last month, when we talked about transitioning into customer success, I've had like awesome feedback from people because we still had this conversation from people saying that, oh, I still don't know the difference between customer service and customer success, and they were finding it hard to understand what it means. So I've had like different comments from people saying like it was a very insightful session and saying a big kudos or giving big kudos to the speaker that was available last month. And just to let you guys know that today's speaker is also awesome, amazing. I'm not going to give you all the gist, so I'm going to let her tell us more about herself. And she's packed with a lot of insightful information as well. Sorry. She's packed with a lot of insightful information. I can see people joining now. Hi, Elizabeth. It's nice to see you here. Hi, Juliet. Juliet is joining from Nigeria. Elizabeth is joining from United Kingdom. We have Ijeoma from Nigeria. We have Caleb from Lagos, Nigeria. Awesome. Thank you so much, guys, for joining. I hope your day went well. Okay. Ijeoma said that she can hear us but breaks in between. Ijeoma, maybe this could be due to your network. I mean, if you could just like maybe look for a place where there is a stable internet, that could help. We have Mary Jane joining from Nigeria, Daniela joining from Lagos. It's so really good to see you guys here and have you here. And before I proceed, please, if you have question at any point, just drop it in the comments, but please tag it as question so that we can know. And if, for example, you want any of the speakers to respond to your question, the main speaker for today is Winifred, who I'm going to introduce later on. But if you want either Winifred, myself, or Ifeanyi to answer any of your question, maybe you want somebody specific, put it in the comment section and tag it as question, and then you put the person's name. But if it is just an open question that you would like any of us to take, you can also drop it in the comment as well. You don't have to put name, just tag it as question so we know. Okay, so it's 7:01 now, Nigerian time. And let me just quickly acknowledge we have Obalolua, we have Mary Jane, we have Precious, and also we have Grace. Nice to see you guys. And everybody that keeps joining, we're glad to have you here in case I'm unable to mention your name. Now back to the discussion. I'm super excited for this, really. I don't know why, but I'm really excited. So we have Winifred, who is going to be our main speaker. And we also have Ifeanyi with me. Like you already know, we have Customer Success Africa. We started Customer Success Africa in 2020. And since then, we've been creating awareness on what customer success is, how you can transition into customer success, and how you can scale your career in customer success. It is something that is so dear to every one of us on this call and even people behind the scene to make sure that we all progress, we all grow in our respective career. And it was this common passion that brought myself, Ifeanyi Nwoke, and Stephanie Eji together to start a community called Customer Success Africa. And since we started this community, we've had great feedbacks. And also, we started this fireside chat last month, which was March 2023, and the session was awesome. So, on today's session, we have Winifred. Winifred, how are you doing?
I'm fine. I'm very well. Thank you. Thanks for
Awesome.
having me.
I can see your face is glowing, really. Hot to eat
Thank
the
you.
soup. So, I would like to know about your day, just like a few intro into your day. What was your day like today?
So I started my day, I'll say maybe 10 a.m. today, Nigerian time, of course. Um, Went through Slack messages
Yeah.
and then settled into emails, which is like where the bulk of work happens. So basically trying to speak with verticals and facilitate every of my account needs. So
Mm-hmm.
for everybody that had a need, I basically had to interact with all of the verticals that would make that need happen, and then give them feedback.
Mm-hmm.
I had team meetings and had to do some trainings as well. So yeah, that was basically how my day went. It was a little hectic, but it was fine. It was okay.
Awesome, awesome. And when you mean vertical, I would assume that they are your customers, or because I want you to break it down to.
Oh, I'm sorry. When I say vertical, I mean like other stakeholders in the company. So like people in
Ah.
other departments. So speaking to, of course, as CS people, that we interact with all other
Mm-hmm.
departments in the company to make stuff happen. So
Yeah.
when I say verticals, I mean like other units, other departments within the company. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. That's cool. And just again, do you mind sharing where you currently work? I know that it's on the flyers, but I just want people to understand, and then we can dive just a little bit deeper into your journey before you got to your current place of work.
Okay, so my name is Winifred, and I'm currently a skill customer success manager at Remote. Remote is a company that helps other companies to hire people basically anywhere remotely. So that's
Mhm.
why the company's name is Remote. So yeah.
Awesome, awesome. And when you mean skill customer success, could you please clarify like the meaning of skill? I know that most of us are familiar with the word
Customer
customer
success
success specialist,
manager. Yeah.
enterprise customer success, mid-market customer success. What is skill customer success?
So basically, we know that we have enterprise clients, right? When we
Mm-hmm,
have enterprise clients are like the big firms, the big companies,
mm-hmm,
they bring in the big box. And then at the moment where I work, there's been a need to handle like other, I wouldn't say they are I don't want to call them small clients because they're not actually small clients, but
mm-hmm.
like they're not like enterprise level clients, and
Yeah.
there are a lot of clients and they need attention. So basically you would say that I'm a customer success manager, but different companies have different titles that they attach to all of these things. I
Mm-hmm,
do basic customer success management work, but my
mm-hmm,
clients are like skill accounts. So I manage current book of accounts about 50. Yeah. So yeah.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So from what you just said now, I could say, could you say that scale is also something similar to mid-market customer success? Because I
Yeah, yeah.
understand that mid-market, they're like, it depends from, for example, you said the word vertical, and I'm like, some people will be like, what is the meaning of vertical? So for some
Yeah.
companies, they call mid-market from, they have like a range. Some people can tell
Yes.
you from, let's say, 3,000K to about 50,000K is their mid market. And that could be some people's enterprise customer success.
Yeah, true,
So,
true.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Well, because where I work, they classify the account according to number of employees.
Awesome.
So it's not like they bring in money. So it's not like some of my clients that I would say are scale will probably be some enterprise clients for like other companies.
Companies,
But
yeah.
like they're classified according to like number of employees that they have using our platform. So
Yeah,
yeah.
and that makes sense because it's a remote company and then we help people with
Yeah.
employment and all that. So I would say it makes sense to classify based on employee size. So awesome. Winifred, today, could you please walk us through your journey into customer success? Now that you're a skilled customer success, I know that you did not start or you did not wake up and say, oh, today I am out of university and I am going into customer success. What was your passion like when you started out? Have you ever thought that you would go into customer success at all?
Short answer, no. Short answer is no. The short answer is no. But
Okay.
let me backtrack. So the long answer is I, like I was mentioning before we went live, I am a creative. I went to school to study performing arts. So you can say I'm an actor by
Mm-hmm.
profession, but I do not act. I basically actually didn't go to school to act. I went to school because I wanted to be backstage. So all the magic that happens backstage is
Mm-hmm.
where my experience comes from. So I mean that's still a passion of mine. But you know the way Nigeria is and what happens with our job market. I
Mm-hmm.
basically had to take what I got then. And so my first real job, because I mean I had a couple of gigs before then, but my first actual job was as a customer service representative.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the job title it was called then, but to make everybody understand, I would say it was a customer service representative, and I was leading a team of 8 people, so which was on an airline. So then we would attend to clients that are flying. You would sell them products. Basically, you meet a lot of VIPs and VVIPs. So it was like a very is it high touch kind of experience,
Mm-hmm.
and you had to be very careful. So we went through like rigorous trainings. um it was a lot of trainings, and then before I started leading a team. So basically my first job was leading a team, which was which was scary. At the same time it was wonderful. And then I moved on from there to becoming a compliance and quality management person, still
Mm-hmm.
in the aviation industry as well. And there I was basically doing checks. So ensuring that people are following our SLA, especially when we want to renew contracts.
Mm-hmm.
And the governing body for the aviation industry, they are very strict on a set of rules, because as you know we're handling people's lives when you're flying, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we always have to like do some checks. We always have to renew licenses, and that was
Mm-hmm.
the department that I functioned in. And I was there for about 5 years. Yeah.
Wow.
However, the environment for that job, it wasn't I saw myself growing. I wanted to grow. I wanted more,
Mm-hmm.
and I couldn't achieve that there because there wasn't like so many like-minded people like me there. So I needed to get out, and I wanted to. I think when I clocked 3 years, I was telling myself, I told myself I was only going to spend 2 years here. This is year three, and I haven't done anything about it. And then I started to apply for jobs, but then you just get busy, you start working again, you forget about all the applications that you've been doing. And
Yeah.
then I wasn't even getting called back for interviews. So I think I just let it
Mm.
go till I clocked year 5, and then COVID hit. And when COVID hit, everybody knows that the aviation industry almost came to a standstill. I think we were only flying in essentials then. People were not flying. So a lot of us had to sit at home. And that was when I told myself that yes, Winifred, shake and sin now. You've been telling yourself you need to leave, you need to leave. So now you need to take advantage of this whole situation. The
Yeah.
funny thing is, the good thing is I wasn't laid off. So I still had a job, but like I wasn't doing anything. So I had a lot of time, and that was where my journey to remote work started. So that
Mm.
was when I knew that there was anything like remote work. Like I never knew that remote work existed. I never
Thankfully,
knew
you're
that
working at remote.
Nigerians
Yes. Cool.
get. I never knew that Nigerians in Nigeria were sitting here in Nigeria and earning USD. Like
Yeah.
like nobody told me. Nobody in my circle knew anything about it. So I think that maybe if my friends knew, I would have known, but I didn't know. And so I was trying to get a job, but it wasn't the easiest thing because I didn't have experience. Most of the applications I was submitting, they were looking for particular experience that I didn't have because I was
Mm,
coming from the education industry, right? And most of the applications I was doing, I didn't even know. I was just, submitting applications. I wasn't focused. I was just doing, let me just, fire brigade approach. That's what I was
yeah.
doing. And then finally, I took an internship. I got the opportunity to intern. The internship was, it had nothing to do with what I wanted to do, to be honest. It was a sales internship. So I was like an SDR and it wasn't paid. Listen, I don't recommend, do not take unpaid internships. I do not recommend. So I did that for 3 months, but I wanted to use the opportunity to learn the workings of working remotely because
Mm,
it was an international company, right? But it wasn't paying. So that was the downside. So I
yeah.
did that for 3 months and I kept on applying before I finally landed my CS role at my
Awesome,
company.
awesome. Thank you so much for that. And then you said something that stood out for me. You said that you were your previous job, like your very first job, you were there for 5 years.
Yeah,
And also during COVID time, that was you've always had the zeal to start looking for other jobs, but
yeah,
sometimes other things creeps in and then you forget that
yeah.
you're actually applying. And another thing that stood out for me is that you said you were applying to like jobs
And
without,
dog.
and that stood out for me because I was actually in that like state before. And just to mention that the first time I heard about remote job, especially in Nigeria, was from Ifeanyi. I think he just went backstage now. So he was the one that actually told me, like, Grace, do you know that? Okay, just fun fact, I met Ifeanyi on LinkedIn. And he was the one that told me, like, Grace, do you know that you can get a job and you can work from the comfort of your home? And I was already tired of Lagos traffic. Oh my God, I was always falling sick. I fell sick to the extent that the hospital, they know me every month I get to the hospital. They were like, you are here again. Like, we treated you last month and then you are here again. Like, it was that crazy. I was always falling sick. And then he told me, like, do you know you can work from the comfort of your home and you'll get your devices sent to you and you don't have to worry about anything. I'm like, no, that is no way, that is not possible. But then I was like, okay, if you could tell me this thing, maybe there is more. And then I started digging in. So that
Yeah,
would take me back, Winifred. You said that you had no experience and it was tough getting into the system.
yeah.
So, what was the journey like for you applying? Random applications. You actually didn't know what to apply for. At what point did you start knowing when to apply for a role, what company to apply to, and or at what point did you start upping your game?
Okay, so um my first remote my first remote job,
Mm-hmm.
which was my previous job before this, I'll be honest and say that I didn't really know what I was doing, to be
Okay.
honest. I didn't really know what I was doing, but I knew that I needed to take a chance on myself. And the only reason why I landed that job was because I was prepared. I think I was prepared for anything. So when I saw the opportunity on LinkedIn, it was a, oh, we're having a recruitment day, and I just said I'm going to join this recruitment day, and I had an interview on the spot on that day, and that was
Mm-hmm.
how the process started for me then. But like when I started knew what I was doing, like
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to applying for remote jobs, was after I started working at my previous job. So
Okay.
like there's a whole lot of things I can give you like the lowdown to do when you want to apply for your remote job because listen, the market is really competitive. There's
Mm-hmm.
so many people that are also applying for this job. So you cannot afford to like slack.
Yeah.
So if I'm to mention a few things that I did, first off, I decided that I knew, like I just told myself I needed to focus on an industry. Like
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't just going to be applying also because I want a remote job. I will be applying to all the job vacancies I see. No, I focused on one industry. I knew that, oh, this industry I have a passion for it.
Yeah.
This is where I want to focus on. So I started applying for remote roles in that industry. When I
Mm,
go to when I go online to look at all of the job sites that advertise
mm-hmm.
all of this remote show, I would always filter the roles based on like the industry I was looking for. Same
Yeah.
as LinkedIn, like I did the same thing for LinkedIn. Number two, I had a spreadsheet.
Mm,
So I had a spreadsheet that I was using to track all of the applications that I was doing because I had an experience where I most of these applications they will always ask you, oh, what salary range? So I had an experience where I quoted something for my salary range. And when I started the interview process, the recruiter asked me, oh, how much are you looking at? And then I said something different from what I had already quoted previously. And that
mm-hmm.
was the end of that journey for me. So I told
Wow.
myself, this is not going to happen a second time, which was why I started using the spreadsheet. So in that spreadsheet, I have the role, I have the company name, I have
Mm-hmm.
the salary I quoted for the job, and then I have like the timeline. So did I get interviewed? Did I get a test job? But I called back for a second
Mm.
interview. So yeah, those were some of the things that I did, just to mention a few.
Awesome, awesome. And then you said something that stood out, saying, for example, the application tracking, the last 2 points you mentioned. I think it's very important because, you
Yeah.
know, the salary range kind of thing, sometimes you forget, really. It's
Yes.
normal to forget
Yes.
because we are humans. Imagine you're applying for about 10 applications, you're sending 10 applications in a day. I would forget, really, because I am not machine. And I think that is a really good one. And also, apart from the conversation part, helping you to know the kind of salary you put in, I think that it also helps you to measure your progress and be thankful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because imagine if you've applied for about 20 applications and you're not getting called back. And then you apply for the 25th one and then you got a response. I think that is progress somehow.
Yeah.
And that is one of the things that people fail to really realize. It is tasking looking for job, honestly.
It
But at
is.
least the little progress, it's something that you should celebrate. The fact that you got a response back from your recruiter saying, oh, we want to interview you, I think it is something that you should appreciate and you should celebrate. It's a little win, but celebrate it. It
True.
helps you to be thankful. And if at the end of the day you've applied for 50 you've sent 50 applications. I know that there was a time that if I sent up to like 50 applications, it kept sending. And then finally, when it got the big break, I was super excited because I was like, wow, finally. I was able to relate because I knew the numbers. But
Yeah.
if I didn't know the numbers, for example, I would just be like, it's just one of those applications. This guy is just lucky. Really, sometimes when I see people when I see people come online to say like these guys are just lucky, there is no luck,
I
really.
think I can say the same for myself. Like because I have a tracker, I can tell you that maybe I get an interview after every 50 application, or maybe after the 50th application, or sometimes maybe the 30th application. And of course, you know that it's not every interview process that like you move on to the final stage,
Mm-hmm.
but you can like see the progress that you're making. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
definitely.
yeah. Thank you so much. And also another thing you mentioned is focus on industry. Like when if this is one important point. Don't just apply to everything you see online. Sometimes not all companies are a good fit for you. I personally would encourage you. We have different platforms that you can check the culture of a company. Is this culture even a good fit for you? I know that we have the habit of applying for everything online because we're desperate looking for job. It's tasking looking for job, but as well, you need to protect your own emotions. You need to
Yeah,
protect your time. Because if you're just applying for everything you see, then there's every chance that you would get rejection. You would get
yeah,
rejected. So try to filter. That was one thing that Winifred said that stood out to me. And she said, one another thing you said about your first remote job was that you got it from LinkedIn. It's
yeah,
amazing the kind of opportunities that we can get from LinkedIn. I personally, I always say it, all my jobs, I've gotten them from LinkedIn. And even my current job, it's a fantastic job. And I just somehow saw the CEO's post on LinkedIn. I'm like, okay, I think I like what this company is doing and I'm going to start following. I followed them for about a year.
same, same. My current company, I followed them for 2 years. Actually, I started following
Oh,
them when I started looking for remote jobs. So I started following
mhm.
them in 2021, and then I followed the CEO because I was like, I need to know like what's happening, when they became a unicorn, I knew. Like when they clocked 4 years, I knew. Like I knew everything that was going on with the company. Like when there's a like, I'm telling you, like I knew everything.
Yeah.
But to be honest, it wasn't my first application. At my current job that I got in, I'd
Mm-hmm.
applied in 2021 maybe about 3 times. In 2022, maybe I applied about 3 times as well. And then 2023 was my first application, and then it just happened.
Awesome.
So
So
people would say, I'm applying, I'm not getting called back. If that's what you want, you have to keep at it.
applying, yeah, right. As somebody said, Temilade said, I see intentionality, and that's the truth. You have to be intentional about your growth. And I would say that what was driving Winifred was our passion to grow and to scale a career in this line. Even though she started as a performing arts student, I mean, nobody ever woke up and said, "Oh, today
Yeah,
after graduation, I'm going to be a customer success manager." No, it doesn't work that way. And most times, if you're still confusing customer service and customer success, I think at this point you should be able to understand, like, no, there is way much difference in the two category. Customer service is you can be like an entry. It can be like your entry role because most people start from customer service, and then gradually you can grow into a customer
customer success.
success
Yeah,
professional, yeah, or specialist. And one another thing that Winnie first said that stood out to me was our first CS job. She actually didn't have so much clue on what the job entails, but she learned on the job. So even though you don't have any experience, keep searching. Like we mentioned, please don't apply to every job you see. You need to protect yourself. Check the culture. Glassdoor is there. I use Glassdoor a lot.
all the time. Yeah,
Like if I see anything, if I'm trying to apply for a company and I've gone through their website, I see fantastic things. The next thing I do is I go to Glassdoor.
yeah,
What is their employee reviews? And it's also important for companies to also tell their employees to leave good reviews for them on Glassdoor. And please, as an employee, don't sugarcoat your
yeah,
company. For example, the company I'm working at is fantastic. I am always happy to give a review at any point in time. So if you think that your company is doing something nice and you want other people to also benefit from it, go to Glassdoor and drop a review from them. And you can also get information from people, previous
yeah.
applicants. They will tell you about their interview process and all that. So use Glassdoor and also use filter on job search. That was one thing that Winifred said. Use filter on LinkedIn. There is a way that you can search for jobs on LinkedIn. And like you already know, I got all my jobs from LinkedIn, same thing as Winifred right now, and she has shared her story. So Winifred, I have a question for you. My question would be that when you were interviewing for your roles, would you say that the global approach for interview is different from the one you're used to? I would assume that it is different, but I don't want to come to that conclusion.
Yeah.
If it was different, what were the challenges you faced? Because I know that at some point I had challenges. For example, I had challenges with, can you tell us about yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of question.
Yeah.
So, what were the challenges you faced with your interviews?
Okay. Then before I forget, I wanted to quickly mention something about the LinkedIn job ad. One thing I would recommend about searching for jobs on LinkedIn, when you see the job adverts, please go to the company's website and do your application on the company's website. That's one thing I'll always tell people. Don't do it on LinkedIn. There are so many applications on LinkedIn. Your application might get lost in the mix.
Hmm.
Just always go to the company website and do your application from the company website. That's very important a lot. Okay, so going to the challenges. The challenges, first, you mentioned about the question of oh, tell me about yourself. Let me start
Yes.
from my let me start from the challenges before even like landing the interview. First off, is a global pool, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's so many people that are applying for this job as same way you are. And you would see, I mean, I know that so many people would send me messages on LinkedIn, and sometimes I try to help, look at people's CVs, and
Mm-hmm.
we're not highlighting like our experiences. We are not highlighting like the major skills that they would use to even call you for the interview to begin with.
Yeah.
And most times
Mm-hmm.
when they advertise all of these remote roles, and you see, oh, Europe, Middle East, and Africa, automatically as an African, you're at a disadvantage already. So that's one
Mm,
big challenge. You're already at a
mm,
disadvantage. So let's say, okay, now you've managed to skip all of the hurdle and then you landed an interview and then they ask you, tell us about yourself, and then you can't, like, maybe you can't say, oh, you can't highlight or simplify like your experience in a couple of minutes. To be honest, I had a problem with this too. I had a problem with this about a year ago, but I spoke to Grace. We had a conversation about it, and we're able
so
to
you're making it
we're
worse
able
now.
to, yeah, because I was always keeping to, I was always, wanting to just highlight my experience in customer success. And the truth is, most of those recruiters that are trying to recruit you for the CS role, they want to see like your experience from way back and how you can tie it into doing the current role as a CS. So for instance, you
Mm,
were a teacher before, you were teaching students. You can liken the students to accounts because you're working with different accounts. There are different people on the
yeah.
account. You're managing. How did you manage the students? It's the same way
Mm-hmm.
you're going to tell them how you're going to manage the account. So
Mm,
how to answer the questions can be a challenge, but if you talk to the right people, they can provide guidance and they can let you know, oh, this is what to do. But just to answer this one about, oh, please tell us about yourself. The way to go about that will be to highlight your experience and tie everything into the job role. So the description of the role, what's the role like? Tie all of your experiences into and start from the very beginning. Please don't skip anything because they want to know that you have experience. You have to be able to show that you actually do have the experience. So yeah.
well, awesome. Thank you so much. And you said something that stood out for me. You said talk to people and let them guide you. I would term that as mentorship,
Yeah.
really, because for example, you don't know what you don't know, right? There are some things that if you like Google from now till tomorrow or next year, there's still some information that you can only get through experience. And you can only get it when you connect with people that have actually gone through this journey.
Yeah.
I remember during our conversation that time, you were like, okay, I think the first thing that brought us together was you just messaged me. I think it was
Yeah.
LinkedIn.
I
Fine, we
messaged you
were
on LinkedIn.
co-workers. Yeah, we were co-workers, but we were not always very close. We were just close because, oh, yeah, she's Nigerian, I'm Nigerian. Oh, yeah, okay. Now this is my pal, kind of. But after I left, and then you reached out to me on LinkedIn saying that, can I check your CV? And I went through the CV and I was like, okay, I just made some inputs and suggestions. And after our call, okay, during the call, you said that you were not getting called back for interview. And I was like, okay, how do you introduce yourself? Because that is what really matters. They want you to walk you through your journey.
Yeah.
They want you to walk them through your journey. And I have seen a lot of people that started out that, for example, what you mentioned. They feel shy to talk about it because they think that being a teacher is not a significant part of their life, which is not true. There was a question that somebody submitted. She said, customer success has been a part of me since childhood. I played it. I played a vital role while my mom was still running a petty trade back then. I attend to our customers with utmost respect. This question came in from Winat. And how do I transition into customer success? So really, you were already helping your mom with trade. You were attending to customers. You already have like prior knowledge. You have like
Yeah.
foundational knowledge in attending to customers. Like Winifred says, students are your accounts. Because I think there was something that I used to say, or somebody used to say while we were growing up. It says that the impact of a teacher in a student's life is so significant that it can make or mar the child's life. And I
True.
remember sometimes I skip some classes because I don't like the teacher. And sometimes I want to attend the class, even if I don't understand the English or anything they are saying. But I just like the way the teacher looks. I just like the way he or she talks, or the way they relate with students, the way they connect with students. That is what makes me attend. And I think that some of us can relate. So that is the same thing with customers. Some of your customers will just want to relate with you because they like your personality. And some
Mhm.
of them, they will give you like a very bad review, like, I cannot recommend this person because this person is not a good customer success person. There was a post I saw on LinkedIn today. The person said he has like is a customer with 100K ARR. Excuse me. It's a customer with 100K ARR. He's going to renew in the next 6 months. But for now, he has gone with a competitor. because the customer success person did not check up on him and he has not even been using their account for the past 2 months and they don't know. If you're somebody that is interested in the, for example, now routing it back to what Winifred said about teacher, can you guys still hear me?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. So routing it back to what Winifred said about being a teacher, if you're interested in your student life, you want to know what their emotion is, what they feel, how you can help them grow, how you can connect with them. It's the same thing with being a customer success manager. You have an account, a high account at that. You want to know how your customers are using your products, how they are getting value. Are they achieving their goals? If yes, how can you help them more? So it's similar. You already have a background skill. Just pitch yourself
yeah,
well. Run them through
yeah,
your background. Whatever it is you're currently doing, let them know that, oh, you are not just here. For example, I had to make Winifred run us through a journey so that you don't know that you know that she doesn't just start from being a skilled customer success. She started from somewhere, and that was a customer service at an aviation, even not even from customers. She started as a performing arts student. And I know in performing art, they teach you to be persistent, they teach you to be accommodating, they teach you to withstand whatever it is. Trust me, sometimes customer success jobs can be tasking and very demanding.
yeah, that's
It
true.
is those background skills that would help you.
Yeah,
So and mentorship is very important. I remember that when after our first call, Winifred, then you said that, oh Grace, now it's really going well, it's
yeah,
fantastic, and you even had a recruiter that said,
yeah,
okay, I'm just going to let you talk about that. I know because I know it's going to be sweet when you talk about it. But I
yeah,
remember you said that, no, you had a very good experience after our conversation,
yeah.
and you started getting interviews. Do you want to talk about that? Let me
Yeah.
know.
Okay. So tying that into mentorship, to be honest, I haven't had like a career mentor. Like up until now, I've never had like a career mentor. I think like my sister is like a very good, is he a very good example of who I'd like to be like,
Mhm.
as a well-rounded person. So I'd usually just go to her
Yeah,
because she's also like a mentor to other people. So I take advantage of that.
yeah.
However, I have like a circle that I always like depend on. And then Grace is one of those people because I was like, okay, she has the experience. She's doing what I want to do as well. She's doing what I aspire to do, right? She probably has
Mhm.
had this situation before and she can help me. So I had to go meet her and I was like, see, I mean, sometimes I get called back, sometimes I don't get called back. And the interview, let me explain so that people can understand the interview process when you're applying like globally. Sometimes is about 4 or 5 stages. So it's not just one interview and then you're done. So sometimes you
Mhm.
don't get called back after the first interview. And that was my challenge. I wasn't getting called back after my first interview. And then, we had to walk through how I'd been introducing myself and how I'd been presenting my experience, even when I didn't have the particular experience that they were looking for, how I was presenting
Mhm.
what I could actually do. And after the conversation myself and Grace had, I think the next 2 days I had an interview and I practiced that. Like I used the example, I explained, I literally worked because I was interviewing with the COO of the company and I literally I worked out like through every role I had up until then. And she was really impressed. She was like, "Oh, I love your journey. I'm going to keep in touch." Even though I didn't get that job, right? I know I heard back from her, and she said, "Oh, this is what happened. For some reason, they couldn't hire me, right?" And she was like, "Oh, she'll keep in touch, like and we still, we're still in touch." So I think that's one way to grow your, so improve your networking skills, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
So personally, I would reach out once in a while to just say, "Oh, hi, how are you doing?" Just to wait. But yeah, that was how that went. So yeah, you
Awesome.
need people in your circle. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And then just to touch base on that, if you would like us, we're still contemplating because personally, I've had to like talk to some people on the ground and they're doing fantastic in their different jobs because it's a sport getting global job in Africa. Really, it's a great sport. And considering that you're in Nigeria, I don't want to say too much. So you know that you're not very you're not in an advantage position as
Yeah,
every other.
that's true.
Just yeah, let's just frame it that way. So if you would like to us to like launch a mentorship session, because it's something that we are contemplating. I've personally had to mentor some people. Ifeanyi has done that, Stephanie has done that, and we're just thinking, okay, if we have like how about we have like a mentorship session, and not just for Nigeria, all over the world globally. Let us know. You can just drop it in the comments, or you go to the comments, or you message any of us, Customer Success Africa, just send us a DM, or you drop it in the comments and let us know what you feel about mentorship, because I think that it is really important. There are some things that you cannot um, there are some things that you cannot read about online. AI is
Yeah,
fantastic, but you need experience. You
yeah,
need to work with people that have the experience to tell you some things. And there are some key things in customer success that you also need to learn. There was a time that I think I had somebody reach out to me like, okay, he or she wants to do something regarding business review, I think. And then was like, okay, could you please walk me through how to do this? It's like an assignment for us in my company, and we need to submit this as quickly as possible. And I was like, okay, this is this. And just to be truthful, at that moment, what I know about business review, because it was a long time, what I know about business review, I had to also look online to see how can I improve this current experience. This person is asking a very tactical question. How can I answer this question in a way that can be helpful? I also learned through that route, and this person also learned through that route. So, and I think it came back to me that the presentation was one of the best in the company, which is really awesome because I was feeling myself like, hey,
yeah,
yeah, I did
yeah.
something awesome. So if you would like us to open a mentorship session, please let us know. And it's something we are considering, and we are still trying to work out strategies around it. But we'd just like to know what you think about it. And if you're looking for a specific thing for us to mentor you on, if it is about getting interviews, revamping your CV, because I've had to do that for a lot of people personally. And
Mhm.
at some point, I'm like, I'm not the one interviewing for roles. Why am I
Yeah.
the one to CV revamp almost every time? Let us know and we'll look into it. So, Winifred, I have a question from people, and I would like you to go through it. The first, how do we find these roles? So this question is from Ololade.
Okay.
He said, I see international vacancies for core tech roles like software engineering, product design, and so on, but I don't see much of customer success roles that are willing to hire international talent in Africa. So could you address that question? Like, how do you find customer success roles?
Okay. I think I would mention 3 points.
Okay.
First, the first way to find these jobs
Mm-hmm.
are to go to the remote jobs website.
Mm.
There's so many of them. We have Flex Jobs, we have Himalayas, we have LinkedIn, we have No Desk, we have Remotive.io. There are a lot of them. Go to those
Sorry.
websites.
I'm trying to
Go
catch
to
up. Remotive.io.
go to those websites and search for the jobs. You can filter. You would see title customer support, or you would see customer success. You would see them. You see those roles. That's one way. And please, when you're going to those jobs sites to apply for those jobs, always read the job description, because to be honest, so many companies have different titles when it comes to customer success and tech support. So the job
Mm.
might be like a tech support job. And this is to answer Marcelo's question about not having previous experience, in customer
Mm-hmm.
success. If you are gunning for customer success as the end goal, you can, and you have like maybe call center experience, or you've used chat calls to answer customers previously. You can
Mm-hmm.
start with tech support roles. So you would see those jobs there. You see customer support, you see customer service. Take your time, please, to read the job description, because most of the time they always put something in the job description that you would need for the application. And
Mm.
once it's not in the application, that's it though. Like that's
Yeah.
it. It has happened to me, to be honest. It happened to me, but with God's grace, I had a second chance. I didn't still get that job because of something, but I was this close. Like I was just waiting for my offer, but it didn't happen.
Yeah.
An example is they'll tell you, oh, make sure to reference maybe baby in your application so that we know that you read the entire job description. So you have to read the job description. So that's one way to find these roles. The second way is if you know that you want these jobs and you've decided on an industry that you want to focus on, go on Google and search for top 20 edtech companies, top 20 what other industries we have, top 20 fintech companies hiring remotely, top 25 I don't know. We have in different industries now. So whatever industry it is that you are focusing on, just go there, write top 10, top 20, include the industry name, and add hiring remotely. You get a lot of results. When you get the results, you have to be ready to do the work. So let me tell you, this is what you do. You go to those companies one after the other and go to their vacancies. You'd see it's vacancies or career page. Is that you see maybe join us, career page, vacancies, go there, look at their job roles. 95% of the time you would find a CS role. There's not even been advertised on LinkedIn or anywhere. And you have to take a chance on yourself. So once you do that, please, if you see there that, oh, this is the recruiter, this is the person that is in charge of this job, take extra 5 minutes, go on LinkedIn and search for the person. When you search for the person, don't be that person that goes and says, oh, hi, my name is this, I'm interested in this job. Please don't do that. Don't do that, because you will not get a response. 100% of the time, maybe it won't affect your application. I'm not saying that it does, but it might. You go on LinkedIn, you state your purpose. Oh, my name is this. I just applied for this role. Please, if you have the time, I'd like to schedule a one-to-one or a coffee chat with you to tell you more about my experience. Something like that. Simple. Once the person sees you, I've landed several interviews like that. Like I just went to their website, saw the job, saw the person that was in charge. I went to the person's link. After applying, always apply first. You cannot go and meet the person on LinkedIn and the person asking you, oh, have you applied? And you're saying, oh, I'm about to apply. Then you're not serious. To be honest, apply first before you now go to LinkedIn and meet the person. 8% of the chance they will answer, 20% they may not answer, but you know that at least you tried. Yeah. So I had a third point. Unfortunately, I cannot remember now. So maybe
you remember? So do you know why I'm laughing when you mentioned when you said something about connecting with LinkedIn and stating your purpose? I've had a lot of people, they will just come to my DM and just say hi. Like, what am I supposed to do with hi?
You don't do that.
Really? There was somebody I was actually chatting with. I don't come online often because, of course, work and all that. But every time I come online, I go through my LinkedIn, I go to my inbox and see, okay, who are those people that have sent me very important messages? And I've connected with a lot of people from there. I've mentored. There was a session, I had a one-on-one session with somebody last month, and she met me on LinkedIn, for example, but she was able to highlight a purpose.
Yeah.
Hi, Grace. This is my journey. This is what I want to do. And I would like to request a coffee chat. Like you mentioned, she requested. Some people will just state it blue, and that's all.
Yeah.
And it is easier for me to also respond through chat. But make the request, you never can tell. The person might be available for coffee chat.
The highest they will say is no. Once you already make up your mind that the highest they will say is no.
Do you get exactly? So the highest they will say is no. So Winifred said something like, she said remote job website. She gave example of remotive.io. I think remote.co also has job listing.
Yeah.
Remote.co. So we are going to list remote.co as number one. So we have remote.co, we have remotive.io, we have Himalaya, we work remotely, and importantly, we have LinkedIn. There are also other remote jobs. And ChatGPT is here now. Use ChatGPT. AI is your friend. Put in all these keywords. There are ways at which you can search, but of course, you can always improve. Put in all these keywords, and then you will get valid results. And another thing that she said again that stood out was go through the job roles or description. sometimes you can think you're applying for customer success role, but you're applying for customer service roles.
Yeah.
They are very different. There's a career path, a valid career path in customer success. I am not going to also sugarcoat customer success. There are a lot of challenges. You need to
Mm-hmm.
be willing to grow every day. Like sometimes I prepare some slides, I'm like, okay, I think today's slide was better than last week's slide. Really.
True.
And and when we started scheduling SBR, I remember I told my manager, I'm like, no way, I don't think I can schedule an SBR. Like it has to be all the company's executive,
Yeah.
and then I have to be our own executive, and we have to be talking. I don't know way. I don't think I can do this because I remember my very first experience talking to customers on video. I froze. Like I literally froze for about 5 minutes, and thankfully my colleague was on the call, and it was what I was talking. I was like, I don't even know what to say. Everything I wanted to say disappeared. But today it's different. So if you're in customer success, you need to be willing to grow. That intentionality needs to be there for you. So go through the job roles. She said that there was something that they highlighted in the job, like if we want to know if you really read through this,
Yeah.
something that our CEO used to do as well. There was, I think he said, he mentioned like some people just request for document, they don't read through. So in the last line of the document, he added the name of his cat. And then he was like, if you read the document, then I would know that.
Yeah. They do that.
you
They do that a
yeah.
lot.
So then one of the customers who read the document came back and said, oh, this is so hilarious, like the best thing I've ever read. Like people could actually do this, and you would be surprised that a lot of recruiters do this as well. They put
Yeah.
these key things in the job roles just so that they know if you really read it.
Yeah.
And also, Winifred said, third thing that you said, she said that you can also use search engines. If you have interest in fintech, if you have interest in event tech, if you have interest in Salesforce, just go on LinkedIn. Just say, sorry, go on ChatGPT or search engines, or you can also use LinkedIn to search for those keywords of companies that you are interested in, and you will be surprised at the results that you will get. Um, we are 10 minutes to go, and there's another question: how to network to get a job remotely.
Okay.
So this came in
Uh,
from Iwa.
okay. How to network to I wouldn't say that there's a particular way to network, to be honest. I started using LinkedIn optimally in 2020. That was during when COVID happened. And maybe because I'm kind of reserved. I like there are things that I expect from people when you're using LinkedIn. An example is don't send hi, don't just send hi. When you're
Mm-hmm.
making connection requests on LinkedIn, there's always a space or a box to add like a message. People don't take
Yeah.
advantage of that. That's one important place to like take advantage of that box and do a quick introduction. I bet you they will connect with you faster than the million and one
Mm-hmm.
people that are waiting on their connection list. So that's one way. And once the person accepts your conversation, most likely they will respond to that message and you can get the conversation going from there. So that's number one.
Mm-hmm.
Number two is joining communities. So CS Africa is one community. I'm also a member of Success in Black. So there are so many communities like that. Go on LinkedIn, you would see communities that cater to whatever it is that you're interested in. You're interested in customer success. Go and look for customer success communities
Mm-hmm.
on LinkedIn. When you get there, don't just be quiet. Ask. You'll be surprised at the amount of resources that these people have, and they will share with you. Once you are you're within that circle, you're within that community, you will be able to speak to so many people. People would offer their guidance before you even
Mm-hmm.
ask. They would offer and tell you, "Oh, just book a one-to-one with me. Let's chat about it. What do you need? Send me a mail. Let's talk about it." People
Yeah.
are 100% yeah more willing to do. And then the third way would be attending events. So
Mm.
attending, so I think maybe because I'm not used to going out a lot, I'm always indoors. So I take advantage of most of these virtual events. And my last referral to the other because my current job, before I joined my current job, I interviewed
Mm-hmm.
at our competitor. I interviewed at our competitor as well. And before landing that interview was through a networking session. So I saw this event on LinkedIn and I was like, oh, this is interesting. I might want to attend. I attended it and I took the extra time, to schedule a one-to-one in
Mm-hmm.
within the events because they had breakout sessions. So take advantage of the breakout sessions within those events. I spoke to so many people. The funny thing is, even the recruiter for my current job, I also spoke to him at that event. So when I saw his email, I was like, "Oh, hi, nice to meet you. We met before. We met at XY." And I was like, "Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
remember." Right? And then the other person that referred me for the other job, it was through that event. I just spoke to him. I was like, "I'm looking to get into this company. I'm actually looking to
Mm-hmm.
get into this field. So these are the companies that I'm targeting." And I was like, "Oh, no problem. Send me your CV. I'll refer you." And he referred me, and I got my interview, and I started the recruitment process. So those are ways that I've been able to take advantage of. But if you are like an extrovert, like you like to go out, attend the in-person events, you will meet people faster that way. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, those are
Awesome.
the
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And also to recap on what Winifred said, she said something about chatting with purpose. When you're connecting with people on LinkedIn, please and leave it there. Don't say hello and end it there. State your purpose. Connect with intention. And also, one thing about mentorship, or if you're seeking to connect people in community, just send them random messages like, hey, just checking to see how you're doing and all that. You don't just connect with people from events today and then you leave them until maybe next year when you need, they would have forgotten about it because they meet a lot of people every day. Just check in
yeah.
sometimes, like once in a while, and connect with them. Um, we have we have about 23 questions here, but we're only going to pick like four. And there is another one that says, how do I create a career path customer service and grow daring, customer daring? And I think that Winifred has addressed it during one of the things that she talked about. Don't ever disperse or neglect your beginning. Your beginning is part of those things that made you. And really, we have a lot of career paths in customer success. You can start as a specialist or you can start as a customer success
Yeah.
associate. You can grow into a specialist, you can grow into a customer success, a mid-market customer success manager. You can grow into an enterprise CSM. You can grow into customer success manager, then manager of
Yeah.
customer success,
Manager of
and all
customer,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, and then VP of customer success, chief customer officer. It's a long route. But one thing is, those guys didn't get there overnight. They worked for it. So be intentional, be willing to work for it, seek mentorship. And we're going to communicate more about our mentorship program very soon. Join communities. That's like one of the key things that Winifred said, really, because you need people's experience. There are some things that you cannot get online. Let's be factual. There are some things that you only get from people's experience when they talk to you about it. Then this person also, Ijama, said, what are the basics of becoming a global customer success personnel? What foundational knowledge, skills, or training do you need?
So,
Winifred, you want to base on that?
yeah, I think somebody also has a question like that here, Ijoma as
Okay.
well. To be honest, to break into customers, people are always asking, do I need certifications? Do I need certifications? You don't start with what you have. You don't need to take any special course or anything. If you have the funds, fine. Go to Success Coaching, go to Success Hacker, Gain Sites. You will find
Mhm.
customer success rules. If you don't have the money, you can go to Coursera, take a free
Mhm.
course. But to be honest, that's not what, like, these recruiters, they don't care about your certification, if we're being honest. All
Right.
they care about is, and I think somebody also asked, let me just use the opportunity to ask. Somebody asked about the important skills that the recruiters are looking out for CS roles. I will touch on three things that I know that are pretty important. What they look out for is account management skill,
Mhm.
ownership, and communication. So once you start communicating during the interview and you cannot even express yourself, you cannot tell them about your
Mhm.
experience, you automatically know that they're not moving you forward in that interview. When I talk about
Mhm.
ownership, it means the ownership, like you're going to be handling accounts. They want to know that they can trust you to own a customer's journey from beginning to
Yeah.
the end. Like, not that they'll be babysitting you or micromanaging you. Like, you can do everything on your own. You can take ownership for the entire
Mhm.
journey. Then account management, basically, they want to know that, okay, you can project manage XYZ from inception, or once they sign up that, oh, we're using your software, they want to know that you can be responsible for, for as many accounts that they throw your way. So those are the three main skills that I say that recruiters look out for CS roles. So I
Awesome.
hope
Thank
that
you.
answers. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. And then somebody said, okay, how do we get remote sites? Thank you, Grace. I know that Grace has responded to Ogechi, Grace Oladiti. Thank you. And seeing just trying to get some light questions. Okay.
CS
Thank you for
metrics.
responding. Yeah, CS metrics. I think CS metrics
Okay.
is a different conversation. And
Yeah, it is.
yeah, it
It is.
is. It's a different
And to be
conversation.
honest, Obalolua, CS metrics, I think they look out for CS metrics for more experienced roles. Like when you are going to those, you're trying to move up
Manager
the
of
ladder.
customer
That's when they start
success.
asking
Yeah.
you, oh, what's your ARR, what's your
Mhm,
this, what's your that. So
mhm.
at this stage, you don't need those. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, what is okay? Somebody said, Balolo, I have a question for me. What is your approach to managing workload and prioritizing tasks in a remote work environment? So, personally, I would say that when some emails come in, you can know if some emails are very urgent, and
Yeah.
then you prioritize those like high, or how will I put it? You flag them as high or very important. And then
Yeah.
you can use metrics. Sometimes metrics work for you. You just segment your work into important, very important. Some are important, but not like urgent. Some are
Yeah.
urgent and not
But not
very,
important.
yeah. So it depends on what you can name as important and urgent. But there are some roles, there are some work or tasks that are very important and very urgent. Like that, okay, this thing, maybe there is a bug, your customer has reported a bug to you, and then you've directed them to a customer support person to help them. They've submitted a ticket, or maybe they are not getting quick response from a ticket, and you know that this thing is affecting
Yeah.
functionality. You have to
Yeah.
bring it up immediately, escalate. Those are very important and very urgent. So it depends on your definition. And also, it is important to know that when you're attending to your daily tasks, if the first thing you do in the morning, like Winifred said when we were starting out, she checks Slack. That's like my, because I would check this
That's the
thread.
first thing.
You check your thread if there is any information for you internally or anything you need to follow up on. Check that, then go through your emails, sort out, okay, the email from Grace is very important, note it down. This is very important. Or maybe you have a conversation with your manager and you know that this is important. Or importantly, you have a meeting coming up. You need to prep. And I think that meeting
Yeah.
prep is something that we don't talk about a lot. Sometimes it takes you 1 or 2 hours to prep for a meeting. And it's something that we can always talk about. That is why mentorship is really important, because I didn't know all these things before, to be honest. I started knowing all these things on my current job. Like, you need to prep for a meeting. Before, I would just start meeting. Oh yeah, you have booked a meeting. Oh yeah, let's go. That's a conversation. And then you get in between the meeting, you're off it, like, okay, I don't even know what I want to talk about. Or you're asking questions that are not genuine, that are not leading you anywhere. Try to prep for your meeting and make sure that if you have a meeting, for example, you have a 30 minutes meeting or 1 hour meeting, you can use your block 2 hours in your calendar to prep. And after the meeting, block another 1 hour or 2 hours for admin job. Admin job
Yeah.
is follow up, send emails to the customer and all that. But it's something that we can always look into gradually. I hope,
Yeah.
Obalolu, I hope that I've been able to answer your question. I'm going to bring Ifeanyi on stage now. I know that we are past our time. We are 1 minute past. But I'll bring Ifeanyi on stage to talk more about the mentorship aspect. Ifeanyi, you're live on stage. So could you please quickly run through the mentorship that we're working on? I know a lot of people have been asking, even in the community, like, okay, we want mentorship. We see all your comments in the community, and we're working actively on it. But I would like Ifeanyi to touch base more on that. Ifeanyi, over to you, please. You're muted, actually. You're muted, Ifeanyi.
Uh,
Okay. Ifeanyi, you're muted. We can't hear you. Can you? Oh yeah, can you say something now? Still cannot hear you. But while you're trying to resolve that, try to resolve the audio. Winifred, what is the last comment that you have for people that are trying to seek a global job in customer success? What is that one?
my okay. Before I make my last comment, I wanted to say something that I didn't mention before.
please, in your job search journey, I know it's easy to get frustrated and it's easy to become desperate, but don't be one of those people that go to, send messages to other employees of other companies, asking them, oh, how much do you earn? How much do you? They won't answer you. And
That is true.
sometimes they can even flag it internally, and that affects your application, right? Always think of the best approach to handle those situations. Don't become like so desperate. Don't go about meeting people for referrals, people that you've never spoken to before. They won't answer you. I'm just letting you know, like, little etiquettes for LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
The last thing I would want to say is I'm looking for remote jobs is hard. I'm not going to sugarcoat it and say it's easy, because as Africans we're disadvantaged. To be honest, if they advertise a role and say it's for Europe, Middle East, and Africa, I bet you that role is actually for an European-based person. Africa always comes last or doesn't exist. So you always have to strive to put in 105% or 120% to every application. Remember that everybody's journey is different, so do not compare yourself to the next person. Also, try not to, like, I don't know, be hard on yourself, right? Like, you're submitting applications every day, you've not heard back. Sometimes you have to take a step back and just breathe before you go back with a different strategy. So that's basically just my 2 cents.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And those like are very key points, especially the part where you go and ask people like, how much do you earn? Really? You expect me to tell you how much I earn? Like, who does that? That's why you have do your research yourself, honestly. And also, one of the things that she mentioned that stood out was you don't ask people unnecessary questions. When you come to them, let them know that you've done your due diligence, you've done your research, you know most things about the company, and it's also going to help you in your interview. For example, you're interviewing for your company and you've not gone through their website. You don't know what they do, you don't know their product, you don't know what their values are. Really, how do you expect them to be
Yeah.
impressed with what you say? Because if I want you to work for me, I want you to know me. If you might not, it's not compulsory for you to have 100% knowledge of what I do, or at least have something, know something about me. And
Yeah, and this global, sorry to cut you, Ray,
yeah,
this
it's fine.
global interview process, they always ask for their values.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they always ask, tell us something about our values that relates with you. So
Tune.
if you've not done your research, you're just going to basically blow up the one chance you got at interviewing, like the shot you had at interviewing and landing the job. Like, literally,
Mm-hmm.
we just mess it up. So always go to their website and read up as much as you can, about what they do and their values. Yeah, important.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I know that if we spend 2 hours on this session, we are going to keep talking and talking and talking, and it's not going to end today. But if Annie is unable to join us, I don't know if Stephanie is available to join. Stephanie, are you good to join? Just to talk more about the mentorship part. Hi, Stephanie. Can you hear me? Are you good to join? Just drop it in the chat. I can't really hear you. Just use the private chat and let me know if you're okay. Awesome.
Okay.
So we
Hi.
have Stephanie here. Stephanie is one of the. Oh, she's back stage again.
So yeah.
Stephanie, can you hear us now?
Yeah, sure. Can you hear me?
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Stephanie is one of the co-founders of Customer Success Africa, myself and Ifeanyi. And she's going to talk more about the mentorship session. We've had a lot of comments about, oh, can you guys start mentorship session? It's a lot of work that we're trying to put in place. So I would like her to talk more about it. Like when do we when are we looking at? I know that I've been saying a lot of things since morning, so I wouldn't want to dive into that. So what timeline should we be looking at, and what are the things that people should look out for when it comes to this mentorship? Over to you, Stephanie.
Okay. Thank you, Winifred. That was very informative. I actually learned a lot, and thank you,
You're
Esther.
welcome.
That was really very informative. Topic that was rendered today. Obviously, there are a lot of things that we are going to talk about. There are a lot of tips we're going to talk about. As Esther said, how do you
Esther,
structure your
Grace.
CV? Sorry.
Grace.
I'm so sorry. Grace, Grace mentioned how do you restructure your CVs and how to put yourself out there, how to send messages on LinkedIn. Like
Mhm.
there are a lot of etiquette that you need to follow to be able to get that job. As Winifred said, it's not actually it's not as easy as we think it is. So you need
Mhm.
to be very, very, very it's a competitive world. So you need to put yourself out there in the
Yeah.
best way. So that's where mentorship is about. As Esther said, and Winifred said, it's not just about the courses. You need to understand people that have gone through the process,
Mhm.
understand practical steps that you need to take, practical examples,
Yeah.
practical experiences from people, and that's what we are here for. There are a lot of exciting topics that's really going to be talking about, and that's why the mentorship is going to be very important. And we are looking at the third quarter, that's July, for the mentorship session, and our goal is not, oh, we want to charge you anything. Our goal from the beginning is to make sure that customer success is well appreciated, make sure that people understand what the job role is about, make sure that people understand there are a lot of opportunities therein, make sure that companies understand how customer success is important in the growth of the company and all of that. And and there are a lot of exciting, is AI going to affect customer success? Because a lot of people are still thinking, oh, the invention of AI is going to affect customer success. The reason why a bit of like, you don't have to be technical to be customer success. You don't have to be a
Mhm.
software engineer to earn more. You can be a
Yeah.
customer success manager and earn a lot of money. Not,
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's one plenty money in the bank, but the steps you need to take to
No,
earn
it's actually true. It's true.
and how
Let
to
me
put
second.
yourself out there, and how to know that, okay, it's a progressive journey. You don't have to be, you can progress from just an account manager to a customer success, a manager to senior. Like
Mhm.
there are lots of opportunities in customer success, and I'm telling you that customer success can be seen in a lot of companies.
Yeah.
Customer success is needed even as you're building a product. A customer success is needed. And
Mhm.
if, oh, the place for data in customer success and all of that. So it's going to be an exciting mentorship program. And we are willing, and it's not going to just be me, Ify, or
Great.
Grace as well, but it's going to be other experts in customer success field in the top tech companies in the world, including in Nigeria as well, Africa in general. So it's not just going to be from our own well of knowledge, it's going to be from other well of knowledge as well. And who knows, Winifred will be part of it as well. It was a very informative.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I will.
So more information will be sent to you. And for those that have not joined the community, because we have a lot of resources that's always shared in the community, I'm going to share the community link where you can join. We'll have more conversations as well. So yeah, I think basically, Grace, did I cover everything?
Yes, you did. You did. Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Winifred, again.
One
Yeah.
thing that yeah, one thing that
You're
you
welcome.
one thing that you said that also stood out is importance of customer success in companies. I've actually had conversation with some founders that they were like, "Oh, but I have customer service. I don't think I need customer
Yeah.
service."
Yeah.
Really, it doesn't work that way. Customer success is way different, and it's a whole ball game, and it's going to help drive your product adoption, which is like the basic thing.
Exactly.
Because if people are not adopting your product, then why are you there? Why are you working? So how do
Exactly.
you get those feedbacks? Then I think we need a session to talk about the importance of customer success in companies so that
Yeah.
founders, especially African founders, can learn the importance of why they need a customer success department and why they need to scale this department in
Mm-hmm.
their companies because we need competitive advantage. It's a
Exactly.
global
Exactly.
fight, really. And I'm not going to even sugarcoat this really. Sometimes we find African companies struggling to compete globally, and
Yeah.
that's because they fail to put the right department or the right resources in place. It is not enough for you to hire just anybody. It is enough for you to hire people that are worthwhile, people that know what they're doing, and that is
Yeah.
why we have the community. That is why we have
Yeah.
customer success professionals in the group. Customer Success Africa is full of professionals, and this kind of conversation is what is building people. You can just come there randomly and ask questions, and there's going to be somebody that would attend to you.
Answer you.
Sometimes
Yeah.
I'm not even online during the day because I am working. And
Mhm.
then if you drop a question, there's always somebody that is going to come and give you suggestion on how you can approach it. And I
Yeah.
don't think there's any better way for you to build yourself than to join a community, like just like Winifred said. So we have way past our time, 12 minutes past, but I really want to say a huge thank you to Winifred. Okay. Winifred is
Yeah.
saying that for anyone with questions on Hansard, they can reach out on LinkedIn. Yes, please. Winifred, could you please
Put in your
your
LinkedIn on the comment
LinkedIn?
section, or
Yes.
Okay. Let me try to do that.
Okay, have you done that? I can't see it on the general.
I'm trying to.
so before
Okay.
she even go further, if you know you've not followed our page, our social media platforms,
Yeah.
and because there are lots of resources, we have wells of knowledge, and we want you to partake of this well of knowledge. So if you've not followed us on every LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, because most of these conversations we're having is on YouTube. Most of this conversation we're having you can't see it. It's actually going to be on LinkedIn, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it
you
is.
can follow us on every platform, and yeah,
Awesome.
yeah.
So thank you so much. Okay, Winifred has just shared a link. We're also going to tag her on our post. So just look out for, I've just shared, can't post. Okay. So if you can't see Winifred's LinkedIn profile link, just let us know. We're also going to tag her for in our next post, and then you can click and then follow up, or you can look for Winifred D. Is that correct, Winifred? Winifred
Yeah.
D.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's
so
correct.
you can look for her name and then connect with her on LinkedIn. Thank you so much, everyone. For the questions we are unable to attend to as well, please look out more for our emails. Make sure you join our mailing list. To join our mailing list, you can just click on the. We're going to put like a Google form, and then you can subscribe to our mailing list, and we'll add you. Look out for more informative information from the community, especially regarding the mentorship and how you can join the community. We appreciate everybody that joined today. Thank you so much, Winifred. This was a very insightful session.
Thank
We learned
you.
so much,
Yeah.
especially
Thank
tracking
you.
application. It stood out for me, and I'm going to take it everywhere I'm going to. Really. So thank you so much. Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you, Fine,
Thank you.
because without
Thank
you
you,
guys,
Grace.
there is no Customer Success Africa. One love, and see you next month. Bye.
Bye.